For years, a question has echoed across social media, through packed arenas, and in every corner of the influencer boxing world. Who is the true king, Jake Paul or KSI? This is more than just a fight. It is the culmination of a rivalry that has defined an entire era. Fans have watched both men evolve from internet personalities into legitimate pugilists, each carving out a unique path in the sport. Jake Paul, the problem child, has pursued a professional career with ruthless ambition, while KSI, the nightmare, built an entire boxing promotion, Misfits, from the ground up, pioneering a new form of sports entertainment. The anticipation for their clash is immense, a genuine super fight for a generation that grew up online. The gravity of this potential bout cannot be overstated. It represents the final boss battle for both competitors, the one name that has perpetually lingered as the ultimate challenge. For KSI, it is a chance to silence the American upstart who followed in his footsteps and arguably surpassed his in-ring achievements. For Jake Paul, it is an opportunity to defeat the very originator of the YouTube boxing phenomenon, the man whose initial rivalry with his brother Logan sparked this entire movement. This narrative is deeply personal, layered with years of online taunts, shifting power dynamics, and the colossal egos of two men who believe they are the A-side. The world wants to see it, and for a moment, it seemed like it might finally happen. The journey to the negotiating table has been a long and winding road, filled with false starts and public disagreements. Each fighter has built a formidable record, albeit against different calibers of opposition. KSI holds a victory over Jake's brother, Logan Paul, a fact he never lets the world forget. Jake, in turn, has amassed a professional record against a roster of former MMA champions and journeyman boxers, culminating in a high-profile victory over the legendary Mike Tyson in late 2024. Their paths have run parallel for so long, destined, it seemed, to eventually collide in a spectacle that would shatter pay-per-view records and settle the debate once and for all. The demand from the fans has created an undeniable pressure on both camps to make the fight a reality. It is the one event that could unify their separate fan bases in a single global conversation. The financial incentives are astronomical, promising a payday that would dwarf anything either has earned before. Yet, as the saying goes, the devil is in the details. When the time finally came to sit down and hammer out a contract, the very elements that make this rivalry so compelling, the pride, the ambition, and the unshakable self-belief of both men, became the biggest obstacles to overcome. The fight the world wants is trapped in a web of contractual disputes.
In the spring of 2025, after years of back and forth, Jake Paul's camp, led by his manager Nakisa Bidarian and Most Valuable Promotions, made a formal move. They sent a detailed contract to KSI's promoters, laying out their vision for the mega fight. Their offer was specific and aggressive, clearly designed to favor Paul's recent activity and physical advantages. The proposed date was Christmas Eve of 2025, a headline-grabbing slot guaranteed to capture maximum attention. The fight was slated for 10 rounds, a championship distance that reflected Paul's experience in longer professional bouts compared to KSI's history of shorter contests. This was an immediate point of contention, a clear test of KSI's confidence and endurance. The terms regarding the physical aspects of the fight were meticulously defined to suit Paul. The weight was set at a catch weight of 192.5 pounds. This is significantly heavier than KSI's last fight weight of 183 pounds and closer to the cruiserweight division where Jake Paul has been campaigning. The ring size was another crucial detail. Paul's team demanded a smaller 18 by 18 foot ring. A smaller ring typically benefits the more aggressive, powerful fighter by limiting their opponent's movement and forcing more exchanges, a style that perfectly aligns with Paul's come-forward approach. Both sides, thankfully, did agree on the necessity for comprehensive VADA drug testing, ensuring a level playing field in that regard. When it came to the business side of things, the offer was just as calculated. The promotion of the event was to be a co-promotion between Most Valuable Promotions and Wasserman, KSI's promoter, but with a critical caveat. Most Valuable Promotions would be the lead promoter. This would give Paul's team the final say on major decisions. The pay-per-view revenue split was structured geographically. In the United States, Paul would take a 60% share to KSI's 40%. In the United Kingdom, the roles would be reversed, with KSI taking 60%. For the rest of the world, the split would be an even 50-50. This structure acknowledged each fighter's primary market while asserting Paul's dominance in the larger American market. This contract was, in essence, a statement of intent from Jake Paul. It was the offer of a fighter who sees himself as the established star in the professional boxing world, dictating terms to a rival he perceives as less active and less proven over the professional distance. By setting a heavy weight, a small ring, and 10 rounds, Paul was effectively daring KSI to step into his world on his terms. The offer included no mention of Misfits Boxing, KSI's own successful promotion, which was seen by many as a deliberate slight. The ball was now in KSI's court, and his response would determine if this dream fight had any chance of becoming a reality. Faced with what his manager, Mams Taylor, publicly labeled a one-sided contract, KSI's team swiftly returned with a counter-offer. Their proposal was a direct response to the points they felt were designed to unfairly benefit Jake Paul. They aimed to level the playing field, presenting terms that reflected a partnership of equals rather than a challenger accepting the champion's demands. The first major adjustment was the weight. KSI's camp pushed back against the 192.5-pound limit, proposing a fairer catch weight of 190 pounds. While only a small difference on paper, this 2.5-pound reduction was a symbolic and practical push towards a more neutral fighting weight, pulling Paul further down from his cruiserweight comfort zone. The physical dimensions of the bout were also contested. Instead of 10 rounds, KSI's team insisted on an 8-round fight, a distance more in line with the Misfits event style, and a clear rejection of Paul's attempt to force a championship-length bout. Furthermore, they countered the demand for a small 18 by 18-foot ring by requesting a standard, larger 20 by 20-foot ring. A larger ring would provide more space for movement, footwork, and tactical boxing, potentially allowing the faster fighter to control the distance and avoid being cornered by a power puncher. These changes were fundamental, designed to shift the very nature of the fight from a slugfest to a more technical boxing match. The business structure was perhaps the most significant point of disagreement. KSI's team rejected the idea of Most Valuable Promotions acting as the lead promoter. Instead, they demanded an equal co-promotion between Most Valuable Promotions and Misfits Boxing, with all costs and decisions requiring mutual approval. This would give Misfits, KSI's own brand, a central role in the event's production and ensure his team had an equal say in all logistical and financial matters. To further underscore the theme of equality, they proposed that the fighter who would walk to the ring second, a prestigious honor in boxing, be decided by a simple coin toss, removing any predetermined advantage or ego-driven decision. This counteroffer was a clear and robust defense of KSI's position in the boxing world. It was a message that he would not be bullied or railroaded into a fight that was stacked against him from the outset. By insisting on the inclusion of Misfits and demanding equal say in the promotion, his team was fighting for respect as much as for favorable terms. They agreed on the location being in the United States and on the rigorous drug testing, showing a willingness to compromise on certain points. However, their core demands on weight, rounds, ring size, and promotional power created a significant gap between the two sides, setting the stage for a negotiation breakdown. The chasm between Jake Paul's offer and KSI's counter-offer proved too wide to bridge. What should have been a negotiation became a stalemate, with each side digging in their heels on the key points of contention. The primary disagreements remained the weight, 192.5 pounds versus 190 pounds. The rounds, 10 versus 8. The ring size, 18 by 18 feet versus 20 by 20 feet. And most crucially, the promotional structure. Paul's camp wanted Most Valuable Promotions to lead, while KSI's camp demanded equal partnership with Misfits Boxing. This last point was about more than just business. It was about power and respect, with neither side willing to concede their brand's authority. As the talks stalled, the public narrative soured. Both fighters took to social media to blame the other for the impasse. Jake Paul's team accused KSI's camp of continuously adding new demands and complicating the process, claiming they were not serious about making the fight. Paul himself lamented that the negotiations were taking longer than the legendary Mayweather versus Pacquiao saga. On the other side, KSI's team accused Paul of engaging in ego-based mind games and sending a non-negotiable contract designed to be rejected. The battle for public opinion became as fierce as any potential bout, with fans left to wonder who was truly at fault. The situation was further complicated by external factors. Jake Paul, growing impatient, has shifted his focus towards what he calls a legitimate run at a world title in the cruiserweight division. He has a fight scheduled for June 28, 2025, against former world champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and has publicly slammed the door shut on the KSI fight for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, KSI has been dealing with his own setbacks. He has been sidelined by a persistent hand injury that requires surgery, with a recovery time that could last anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months. This injury makes any immediate fight booking impossible, providing a convenient, if legitimate, reason for the delay. Ultimately, the fight that was once seen as an inevitability now feels more distant than ever. The combination of contractual disputes, public blame gaming, Paul's new career ambitions, and KSI's injury has created a perfect storm of inactivity. While the rivalry remains, the practical path to a fight is blocked. Fans are left clinging to the hope that, one day, the egos will subside and the stars will align. For now, the biggest fight in influencer history exists only in the realm of what if, a dream matchup trapped by the very details that were supposed to make it a reality.